Good evening, citizens of Earth. 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 Citizens of Earth.
But I don't want to talk more about racism, but I want to fast forward to what I believe is what I myself visited, and that is the Auschwitz concentration camp. I visited it in 1951, and the first thing we saw, of course, is a glass container full of gold extracted from human beings before they were sentenced to the incinerators. Then I saw a lampshade made of human skin rather, pillows made of human hair. And when we were walking on the street, and this was just 5 years after the war, so the Nazis could not get rid of all the evidence of Auschwitz, of the atrocities of Auschwitz. So walking on the streets there, outside the incinerator, one saw human bones, and the incinerators did not succeed in making it into ash. And that, I had to say, I brought back a few human bones to show to the people here what the logical outcome of racism could be.
And lesbians, gay, bisexual and trans people still much maligned, defamed, misrepresented and denied equality solely on the basis of difference. And when we diminish a human being, we diminish ourselves.
Inequality breeds the unrest that the panelists spoke about there, because the youth are left with nothing but to eat those who are poor, who are rich, because they have nothing to lose.
Firstly, I think it's really refreshing to see so many young people asking questions. But sadly, in terms of the latest statistics, 58% of you won't have jobs in our society. And that's, of course, because either you will be unemployed or you will be unemployable.
That in the National Math Assessment for grade 9s, 3% of South Africans passed, and the average was 10%. Okay? And I made this point in my talk earlier. What is the gap between the investment and the delivery? On a per capita basis, South Africa spends a lot of money on education. There is something wrong with the management and implementation of our education system. I don't believe that tax is the answer.
I believe that one of the solutions to the problems in this country is a cadre of incorruptible and principled youth.
There's a problem in our society where we think that we can fix everything through institutions, but not getting down to the crux of the problem. Because we're a country that is accustomed to sweep everything, all of our issues underneath the carpet.
Why is it so difficult for someone like me to start a business? Why is it so difficult to get funding? Why are there so many people that I have to beg and sometimes even bribe to get myself employment?
Wow, okay.
Who is going to make sure that we've got a capable government? Second, who is going to make sure that the government is not captured by vested interest? And thirdly, who is going to make sure that our hard-earned tax money is not going to be squandered, stolen, used in fruitless and wasteful expenditure.
The Constitution, which is the primary mandate that this government and every previous government has had, is very clear that the role of the government and indeed the state is to deliver. It is to deliver on a number of things. It is to deliver by making sure that there are sufficient protections for the most vulnerable in this country, that the state actively creates an enabling social, economic, political, and legal environment that enables people to exercise their agency. It mandates the state to protect our rights and to not attack our rights. And there is any number of examples that we can quote where the state is actively attacking our rights and not delivering on its mandate to promote and to progressively realize rights.
Please, let us respect the Constitution and not condemn it or find faults with which history has taught us are grievous faults.
We have seen as the society burning down schools. We have seen the society barricading roads, protesting 21 years after freedom, after democratic freedom in South Africa. So my question to the deputy minister is that, what are you doing about especially these towns and these municipalities that are failing dismally? So
there are many simple, basic things that don't take rocket science, that don't take the world of resources to get right. What good reason can there be for a municipality to let a pothole stand for months on end? What good reason can there be for a municipality to not change a light bulb? What good reason can there be to not cut the grass? What good reason could there be to allow sewage to flow across a road where children walk to school for weeks on end? Those basic things we must just get right.
Great Constitution with one glaring error: no accountability of the government to the voters. Our situation right now is effectively between elections to have a 5-year dictatorship. And the question I've got directly to the Minister, with all his fine words to say about accountability, will he push for direct democracy, which means if a referendum is held, it becomes law? Initiative, which means that the voters can create a law and it becomes law, and that we can fire our elected representatives before the end of their period if they do not do their job.
Jim, I think you got the gist of it. Okay.
The reason you go into politics is not to rely on referenda, which I believe is actually the political coward's way out, because you can manipulate a referendum by how you ask the question, and often it's delivered not on the question, but on the popularity or not of the person, the institution, or the government asking it. What we need in politics is people who have the courage to be unpopular, to do what is right for the long term, because politics is bedeviled by people pleasing public opinion, and then public opinion changes, and that is common to the whole of Europe as it is to the whole of Africa. Leadership, leadership, leadership. Don't wait to be asked, get in there, and then ask the question.